Hey, so we've been having a fucking trip, mostly down the memory lane of the misty 2001, which was not fully ever processed like our entire lives, and it's wild. I've been vlogging a little bit while doing it, so there's like some small clips of video here and there that I'm gonna staple together and chuck up on our channel at some stage of how it's going, in real time. But basically, we've been just rewatching the vlogs from that time period. 2021 was like massive year of epiphanies for us and realizations. We'd been in therapy, I think a year, um, and we were starting to kind of learn how to use some of the tactics to stabilize ourselves, and everything was starting to kind of improve, and we were having interactions with a couple of individuals that were very had the potential to be very re-traumatizing and were very triggering, um, but instead seemed to open up the gateway to the world of, oh, this has been our entire lives. Oh, I don't notice when I'm being gaslit. Oh, we have like all these multifaceted programs that run throughout our subsystems to respond to people who are using like brief trigger warning, I guess, for mentions, literally just the mentions of some behaviors that are gonna be triggering to a lot of systems. I don't know how to trigger warn the trigger without bringing up the trigger. So just there are a couple of people that be doing sort of like dodgy underhanded manipulation things, a lot of guilt tripping, grooming, and just like progressing to a bunch of really fucked up toxic shit in the case of one of them. That was our 2021. And then like that was the beginning of our 2021. Uh and then like just kind of learning a lot about ourselves and about our system from all of that. And I guess it was like the first time we could see the repeated patterns. We could go, oh shit, I can observe what's happening in me and in the other members of my system while this is occurring, and oh, this must have been what's always happened when around people like that, and why is that, and like, you know so it was shit that really gave us the ability to look at our processes and learn about ourselves in the context of where we'd seen behaviors like this before. So it led us to some really deep shit. And then there's like it's like 5 months where there's no vlogs at all, and just I think in that time we were just recovering and just like we'd started processing trauma with these events, not intentionally. We were still working on safety and stabilization as far as I was aware, but our brain had other ideas. So we started processing trauma. We were learning how to do it, and then it was just like all these new avenues just opened up, and it's just been work ever since. So 2021 was a like really profound year for getting to know ourselves and our history of trauma and working out what the fuck our brain does when presented with situations that and people that it deems unsafe, that are unsafe, that it deemed unsafe and now would just deem not good to interact with, but we'd still feel safe in their presence. So that was a weird pause there, trying to work out how to turn things. So it's been like, man, it's been a lot. It's been like, it's been really interesting. It's been absolutely fucking horrifying. It's been heartbreaking. It's been it's been beautiful. It's been a lot of things just watching back these vlogs from that time period. I think there's a few that I'm going to share. There's one that I've just shared just now that I was really fascinated by because it was like the start of learning what things we needed to identify and work through, because we were like, okay, you know, this these grooming and manipulative people's behaviors show us that we don't feel defended enough from that sort of progression in people, and like it was very polarized. You only had like half the system could see behaviors like that and was certain and were right, but were largely ignored by those of us who used different coping mechanisms to keep us safe. So it was like this almost all-out war within us between people that went into the fight response and prioritized our own needs heavily, and people that went into the fawn response and prioritized our, well, kept us safe by prioritizing other people's needs and preventing and placating anything that could be potentially an issue for them, and trying to just fix all the time. And so this was like what we learned from that year is, okay, you know, what about us? Let this situation happen. What can we learn and improve in the future so that this stops happening, so that we're safe spotting people like that and putting up boundaries? And, you know, how the fuck do you start to even deal with boundaries? And I think the video I just shared tonight that we came across in the folder while organising is like some very early days of just starting to work out kind of the things we needed to focus on and how to actually begin to build resilience and safety from internal measures rather than just keeping everybody the fuck away from us, which was, you know, the way the system had done it before. So it was like a real pivotal sort of moment of change. And I thought it was interesting because I uploaded that vlog and then I looked at the ones that just shared and what we'd just been talking about, like yesterday, a couple of days ago. What's time? And it was like the same thing that I was realizing in this fusion at this point. So many different parts of me making up who I am, and a lot of them haven't had the chance to practice a lot of the things I'm talking about, where it's like being able to center ourselves and prioritize our own needs and feeling connected to our body and our emotions, and being able to retain that connection while under the observation of other people and not just like darting out of ourselves to attune to everyone around us as if our life depends on it, because it doesn't anymore. And it's interesting that I'm on that topic and I'm looking back at 2021 where we were just starting to learn about that topic, and it's like it's interesting to see what's changed and what's progressed between then and now, and what things we're still doing and still benefiting from learning about. This is really fucking fascinating, to be honest. I'm so impressed with all the work we do. Like, man. Everyone in here. So, once again, we're kind of at that remembering to prioritize ourselves, teaching all parts of me to do that again, which is it's slow, and it's kind of, it's not, it's logistically simple, but well, and really doesn't feel simple while you're in it, because part of being able to stay that, like, part of being able to stay that with myself and make sure that what I'm doing feels right to all parts of me involves this entirely engulfing background feeling of like, oh, this is wrong. This is really fucking wrong. This is the wrong thing to be doing right now. And then sort of anxiety and dread from that. And you gotta kind of just sit in that and reassure and comfort yourself and the parts of you having those fears and those thoughts, and reassure parts like, yes, it absolutely does feel horrible. It feels horrible because it's unfamiliar and because we learned that prioritizing our needs wasn't safe. So it feels like I'm doing something really dumb that's very unsafe, but it's just the associative learning. And the longer we encourage each other and learn to just feel a little bit less stressed every time I do it, the more it's gonna like stretch our capacity to feel safe in moments while I'm doing it, and then eventually I will just be free to be sitting in here and going, oh, I feel like this, I need this, what do we want, you know, and it's gonna get easier. So it's like, it's challenging and it's exhausting, and I'm finding a lot of the places that I have to practice is like, you know, we're so lucky to have such supportive fucking friends and partner. Oh my god. I say and partner because like it's it's such a default given in my head that Ryan's so supportive and helpful in every way. It's just like it's constantly there. I forget to say it out loud. So we're really fucking lucky to have everyone around us being so understanding and supportive, so we can practice safely and easily, and our friends will help us maintain our boundaries. Like if we're like, I can only zoom for this long, it will be pointed out when it's that time, so even if we forget, or like, you know, things like that. And then I'm finding that going to the shops, like going to Tesco, is where I'm getting a large amount of practice at the minute, because there's that rush to prioritize everyone around you when you're in the queue and when you're in the shop. It's like, okay, I gotta have my wallet ready, my bag ready, I gotta like not hold up the queue, and I gotta like make polite conversation with the cashier. Well, it's kind of a process of dropping all of those assumptions and preconceptions and just doing what feels authentic and natural, and going, oh, this is a bit weird. And a lot of the time we'll be talking out loud to each other around the shop or in the queue, and people do notice. But one thing I've really learned is that mostly they focus on how it affects them. Like, they look at their behavior, they look around, they look uncomfortable, as if like they're not understanding something, or as if it's like, are they getting pranked? You know, people always try and work out how something affects them, and then when they go, oh no, shit, this really is just one body having a conversation, they tend to just look away and leave us alone. So it's like, it gave me horrendous anxiety and literal panic attacks for a while at first, don't get me wrong, but it's getting easier. And get like relief sighs and feel more whole and more creative freedom to like speak and act and behave and be a way that I like every time we practice it in situ. So in any situation really where I am pulled to think about how we come across and any external view of us or feeling of us, and instead I pull myself back to me and just do what feels right. It's like, feels like it makes me less diluted every time I do it, more confident and comfortable and secure and relaxed in just being me, until at some stage maybe I'll even be able to do it like kind of easily and kind of without worrying about our safety. I've got to the point now where, like, I notice that I'm not sat hyper focusing for like 6 hour bursts without getting up to go piss or drink anything, and I'm like, that is new, that is nice. I'm comfortable all the time when I'm sat doing stuff. If I have a headache, I go get tablets immediately. If I'm hungry, I go get something immediately. So like, instead of long periods of time where I'm uncomfortable because some basic needs are not being met, and then I'm getting slightly neglect traumatized because I am neglecting our needs and it is re-traumatizing us, instead of all of that and like these stretches of time where I just feel like, yeah, in various ways, I'm like, exhausted relief sigh and feeling kind of backed up by myself, feeling kind of powered up by me, and like, it's nice, it's good, I like it, I would recommend. I'm feeling like more and more myself as well, which is fun because I don't know who that is. And I'm enjoying finding out. And there's a lot to me. We keep surprising myself with things I'll do and say. I'm going, oh, that's cool. Is that a trait I have now? Is that a part of me that exists? I like it. That's nice. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm good on the vlogging front. We hope that you're all taking care and feeling as okay as is possible, and that you're able to find ways to connect with what your body and your system needs and what you need, and find ways to meet those needs, albeit like at whatever level is attainable for you at the moment. Much love, folks.